Alright, new stream. What is happening? I don't... Hold on. Yeah, exactly. Fourth time's the charm. Okay, there we go. Now it's not latent. What the hell was happening? Alright. Also, forewarning, if anybody hears a kid screaming in the background, family's over for New Year's, and I don't exactly get privacy in here. But, yeah. Attempt. Yes, but I'm streaming right now. I cannot have people keep... I will get it. No. Alright. Back to what needs to be done. So, about Darket. What did you say about Darkus a bit ago, JG? I already forgot what message you sent in the other failed attempt, I guess. If you can repeat what you said. There's a lot of issues that I need to put down. I just don't want to type them right this second, at least. So the big issue is Darkus. I don't feel unique anymore. Has at least one card that does everything that each other nations do. So is it's making Dark stronger and the other nations less unique. Uh, so my view on this, right? Each attribute needs to have a negate, sort of like ability counter, but depending on the attribute, have that card limited. Like I get Darkus had 3, but at the same time, it wouldn't have needed to be a thing if Reaper's card was just a Omni Darkus card. Because that's how it was in the show. It was literally just a coincidence that Reaper was used every time. Because if you go back and you do the research, Reaper's cards weren't actually his cards. And when it comes to... I gotta plug in my laptop because I just realized how low it's getting. Um, the poll I made that ended up putting Dark Eye Superior into the game, I guess, was so each attribute had a card like that. Because Chaos at the moment is able to run. If you're running Reaper and Tentacler, you're able to run an 8-card negate. Or deck. 8-card deck negate, basically. Which, if you think about it, depending who you're playing against, especially Subterra not having all their cards, you can negate literally everything. As long as you have IRGs, there's nothing they can do. The only thing that would really save them is gate cards, because Pyrus has a gate card. Actually, every attribute has one except for Subterra, technically. Aquas does have a negate for gate cards, but you have to move, which is their own gimmick. But yeah, honestly, for like even me as a Darkest player, I don't think it should be at a 3. I really don't think it should be at a 3. And I get Klepto's point in his video about Darkest having a power strike right now, but at the same time, it was needed because if you paid very close attention to pre update, like before the update we have now, Darkest was almost unplayable. The only thing that made it playable was being able to run multiple aces, and I was against that even before the update. I hated doing it. I still hate doing it. Like, I made a deck specifically to deal with people like that, and I have used it twice. And it was only in one battle was testing it, the other one was in a tournament, and I immediately hated it and ended up scrapping it. Well, okay, not scrapping it. I clicked out of it. I'm not using it until it's absolutely necessary because it is kind of busted. But yeah, it's literally just people following the meta. That is all it is, and it's mainly because of people making videos on it. Or I do blame myself a little bit for this too, because I did show my deck multiple times in the Discord, and normally I wouldn't show that kind of stuff off. But at the same time, it's giving people who want to play Darkest a setup to go off of, kind of thing. It's like people copying decks off of, and this is for Yu-Gi-Oh, by the way. It's like copying shit off of what's the website? I can't remember the website, but yeah, it is driving the uniqueness down, and I don't like it. Like I as much as I love playing Darkest, and I will continue to play Darkest even if it gets nerfed into the fucking ground. I have played it since the old TCG days. I have played it since the Wii game, which I did not like the Wii game. I will forever play it. I will never play. Wait, I feel like Darkest has like 6 non-negotiable cards and decks that are very samey. Okay, again, Darkest's whole gimmick, and I try to explain this to people instead of complaining about the attribute and the cards. Try and use your head a little bit and think, because Darkest's whole gimmick, and I'm talking about without Doom Companion, because honestly, in my own opinion, I hate that fucking card and I hate using it. And if they add the whole Doom card gimmick, I hope that card is only usable when you're playing the whole Doom card like game mode or whatever. Format, I should say, format. I really hope that card is only usable in that format when it gets added. I don't like running it. The main reason I do is because the times that for the longest time, I didn't have Doom Companion in my deck. I had Blackest Darkness in my deck to replace it. Or I had Reaper's cards in my deck to replace it, because, again, Darkest didn't have a negate at the time. I ran Blackest Darkness, and it's literally just a strat to pull you in. To me, Darkest was more about sneaky trick with abilities, so it feels like it needs to go back to that. Well, okay. The main reason Darkest had a negate, and honestly, it needs to keep its negate, but lower it. It does not need to be at 3. And that's coming from me. It doesn't need to be at 3, and I get why people complain about it. But at the same time, the current state of the game, it needs to stay at 3 just to be able to compete with Chaos or Ventus or. Okay, at least keep it at 3 until Guardians and other cards that need to be limited get limited. Like Leap Sting. Leap Sting needs to get limited to hell. I don't have the game, but from what I've seen, there's issues with variety in builds and playstyles. There is. I okay, so I Zeno has made. I think he made videos about meta. I know Silver has too. I hate people making videos like that. Like they're doing it for their content. That's perfectly fine. Do what you want. It's your channel. You promote whatever. But at the same time, I hate when people give out strats like that because then all it does, like the main issue in my opinion, besides the crashing, if the crashing gets fixed, this other issue is going to be in the game until something is done about it. But multiple aces, people will complain. People will try to argue saying, "Oh, it's not a big deal." Stuff like it. It is. It really is. And the main reason because of it, it's both pros and cons. It's all a power grab, basically. So when it comes to, for instance, running, let's say running Gladiator, Leo, and if you have a third Cyranoid, you can do a minus 200 from it. Yeah, Dresden, right there. 2 aces plus Laserman. That is the entire point. That is the entire issue. And it's mainly because of people making videos on the current meta. It is people making videos which is driving more people to run the cheeky strats instead of building their own shit. Which it's not official, but in my opinion it needs to be done, a whole like tier system to limit stuff like that. That way you can't run Reaper, you can't run Laserman, you can't run, I think Tuskor would be another one. Mantris would definitely be another one. You can't run certain tiered Bakugan, like each tier system. Like tier 4 would be highest tier you can get, or it would be, I legit made a deck that removed Laserman and only gonna use him if I know my opponent is. That's valid. That is valid. But like before this update, okay, the meta was running Dual Hydra, Vladitor because his ability was at 2, and a Laserman. You could minus 200 anything anywhere on the field, use both your leap stings, snipe 2 of your opponents, and immediately basically win there. Or if you didn't and your Vlad and Laser got killed, you just had a dual Hydra there to just murder. So all it was, and then the update limited Vlad, buffed Leo, which, okay, people are gonna hate me for this. I actually liked the Leo buff, and it's not because I use him. It is mainly because he needed it. If he gets limited down the line, I'm still gonna use him. And to be honest, I do think he needs to get limited, or at least give him a second ability that does something to help him be more usable. Like if they add every card from the show, almost every single partner Bakugan except for Praeus, I think Praeus only had one, which was Blue Stealth, if I remember that correctly. Every other Guardian had multiple different abilities. And if they're gonna add stuff like that, like even for Vlad, I think Vlad should have a second ability. Leo should have a second ability. Uh, not make them stupid, but make them so they're still gonna be usable since their abilities are limited. And if they do what I sent all the devs for Wyvern's cards, they all need to be limited to one as well. But By the way, this is not what this stream is about. So I am again not gonna list names. I'm sure people have already seen this video, but the way this video was done was not the right way to do it. Not gonna list names on whose videos it was because it wasn't just one person. It was a few people. It was not the best way to go about it because the way I interpreted it, it was just a rant video. That is all it was. That is all I heard. Them ranting about one or two specific cards instead of calming down, thinking, and talking about the actual issues in the game. Like currently with the crashing issue that's been going on for the past, 6 days now? I think it's been 6 days because it's been since I had my anxiety attack on Friday. Or last Friday. Not this Friday. Okay, fuck. What was that day? Today is the 31st. It would have been... I can't remember the exact date. But it's been like this since the day that I ended up going down to my parents' house and staying down there for a bit because I needed some R&R. But, that issue, a few cards that should have already been coded, which it wouldn't be hard to code because I used to do a coding program for Unity games for a couple other people before, and it's not hard to do some of this stuff. But again, this is just my personal opinion, and this involves updates and stuff like that. Y'all can say what you want about this, doesn't matter. But when it comes to bugs like this, or stuff that's in the game not even coded because they're worrying about other stuff, which I get, but at the same time, it is much healthier for a game that is in its beta phase that has bugs to update not constantly but enough to render those, like the crashing issues and stuff like that, render them out a little bit. That way they're not as prominent. Like this game, I'd rather it have an update like every 2 weeks and have it add small things into the game like new cards, which again isn't hard to do. Bakugan that already have their animations that you can tell are pulled from the game, because again, they have the exact same animations. Tiny stuff like that. I would rather it update constantly and have tiny stuff like that than a big update months at a time that just now fixes stuff that needs to be fixed before. And then add like a few things, like each update they have added a four-legged Bakugan, like Tigra was the previous update, Juggernaut's this update, they added Beast Striker as well. And then stuff like limiting cards and everything. All that tiny stuff, big stuff, can wait. You can put that off because again, this is not me meat writing or anything like that. This is not me just protecting the game because I like play it. Wait, hold on. The XP looking at, as I know, Guardians and high G power needed longer to level, but compared to the old system, there was varied. Okay, hold on. About that too, and I'm glad you brought that up, JG. The XP from what I've seen, and this even goes towards Bakugan that have high Gs, and I get you want to slow the leveling on that down because you don't want shit like my 480 Leo being able to be done in, I want to say, like 2 days. But at the same time, from what I'm seeing, unless you're battling Shun, because Shun is actually really glitched right now, and you can get a random amount of XP each time you fight him. Like, you could get, I want to say, 2 levels on a single Bakugan immediately, and then occasionally, or most of the time you won't. Occasionally you'll get, like, I want to say, literally 2% of the XP you normally would. But right now, from what I'm seeing, and I'm sure all of you have seen me on multiple times a day for a good majority of those days, until I got really pissed off and decided to take a break from the game, and I'll still hop on every now and again if people need help. That's helping new people. I like doing that. I like talking to new people. I like introducing people to the game. Which actually, now that I know my OBS is working decently, I might start recording videos. But at the same time, I don't want to, because if I were to have my game open right now, you would all see that my shit is like running at 30 fucking FPS, give or take. It's terrible, but I'm getting a new PC here soon. But again, till then, I'm debating on making videos. But about the XP, again, from what I've noticed, and I've had a few people in the party kind of agree with me on this, or at least similar. You're getting like 10 to 12% the XP that you should be getting. Like my Reaper and Laserman, which by the way, as soon as Mantris or anything else that is actually usable gets added to the game, or not even a usable Bakugan, something that I would actually run, I will be replacing either Laserman or Reaper. It depends. I I'm still kind of deciding on what I want to do with my deck. But again, for stuff like Laserman, Reaper, just the basic Bakugan, like even a fucking Siege, you are only getting 12% of the XP you should be. Also, sorry, Drez, I didn't see your message for a second. From my experience, once you hit 350 Gs, you hit a brick wall. Yeah. Okay, what it is it's completely random half the time. That's what I have noticed. It'll, like, one day when you log in, you'll get no XP that entire day. And then the second day or third day that you log on, you'll get a shit ton, but you only go up one level that entire day. It's so fucked. I say this as before, the bar maybe moved a good 10 to 15% round, whereas now it's barely moving, and no joke, I have been using him 2 or 3 days, and he's got 90% of the kill. Yeah, not gonna lie. And I'm pretty sure this was shown in one of Klepto's stream, and I know this was shown in one of Silver's videos. Actually, not the video that he just made. It was a previous video. But my Leo was getting a good chunk of the kills. And by the way, if there's any new players in here, Bakugan can level up mid battle. I have already tested this. But when I first got Leo, the first day I didn't play much after buying him because I was saving up to get a Hydra and I was using other shit in the process. Give me 1 second. Okay. So, that entire day that I used him, the first day he went up 1 level. Second day I was on for a good like 6 hours, no break. He went up, I want to say, another 3 levels. And then from there, I kind of took a break from the game because I was playing VR for a good bit, and I was making videos or TikToks for VR game. But then and there, I was off and on, and he would gain a few levels, maybe. And then it got to the point where he is now, where he just won't level up regardless, and this was before the update. Now that the update came, I'm not kidding when I say this, I'm getting no XP on him. The one time I did, it was, I want to say, the size of my pinky nail, which, if anybody has seen my hand, is fucking tiny. He has gotten, I want to say, 2 ticks of XP, and that was me using him for fucking days since the update. And it's, actually, yeah, hold on, let me put this in here now. I'm just gonna call it XP logging, because that's what it is, basically. That's what you call it in this type of industry. But honestly, the one thing I'm very glad about when it comes to this XP the way it is right now, for new players joining the game and they're copying people running multiple aces, or darkest players doing the exact same thing or trying to copy my decks, because I do have proof of that. There has been a few darkest players that had like just freshly joined the server and copied my deck straight off. Swear to God. But for the XP the way it is now, it's going to be harder for them to grow, and I'm glad for it. Not just towards Darkest, it's actually towards every attribute. But, again, for me right now, XP is just a love-hate relationship kind of thing. I hate it, but when it comes to new people joining who are following the meta, I'm fucking glad for it. Again, everybody in here, if you have other shit you want to talk about, because, by the way, everything that's getting put on this list, I am sending directly to Dev. I'm sending directly to June and Joga. Because those three are the main people that will manage most of this stuff. But, yeah. I'm going to put some more stuff on here because there's other stuff I wanted to talk about as well. And actually, this next issue is going to go... Again, I have nothing against any of the content creators on the server. Nothing. No beef. It's all fun and games. It's a game. Everyone should be having a good time. But this goes back to the issue that I was mentioning at the start. I don't like people making videos and advertising... Wait, hold on. As far as XP, basic Bakugan can be within 30 days. I'm happy. Okay, so... from what I've seen, Drez, the way they do the whole, like, base power level shit is, like, each base starting G... There are a few that are incorrect, which for everyone in here... actually, this might have just been me, but when I played the Wii game, my Leonidas' base power level when I had just got him was 440. And it has been that for every single platform that I played that game on. Again, this is literally just talking about the Wii game for right now for base power levels. But when it came to the actual show, some of the Bakugan, the way Joga does it is he goes and collects all the base Gs that he can from the show. He puts them in a chart, and then he tries to find the median for it, which will determine what their base Gs was. Like, there was a... I forget what episode it was, but there was this episode where Serpenoid was, I want to say, 360, if I remember correctly. And then there was others where he was 320, others where he was just 3... I think there was one where he was 310. I can't remember. I'll have to go back and rewatch. Which I probably will. But, for stuff like Mantris, this is the one thing I'm hoping for if he gets added. Almost every single episode that I've seen Mantris in, he has been anywhere from 360 to 370. And then there were a couple instances where he was lower, but that was like near the beginning of the show, like episode-wise. But, actually, I might have to pull this up too. Pull this up on fucking Google and see what it says. But every single episode that I have seen Mantris or seen others, which, actually, I'm just going to go off Mantris. Centipoid? I forgot what his... Why... Okay, I never opened that video. That's weird. Here, hold on. I gotta fucking pull this up here. Why did that close out? Oh, it's because I closed out of it. Again, you guys are free to list anything else in here. I'm just... Anything that is talked about, come up with, I'm putting in that fucking chart, because it needs it. But, Oh, hold on. I'm drawing a blank for a second. But, why am I... See, this is where my brain goes sometimes. I don't remember what I'm trying to type. Mantris, Bakugan, base, jeez. We're not talking about the fucking toys, because God knows we'll see... Well, at least they have one of his abilities, right? Mantris. Oh, Jesus! Was he 380 each time? Was I actually wrong about that? Wait. Was I wrong about that the entire time? Also, did my stream just fuck? Hold on. I don't think OBS can handle me opening so much shit. Yeah, OBS is lagging like hell right now. Hold on. Close that. My OBS is gonna lag like hell for a minute because I opened another tab. It's because this is trying to play. Just so everybody knows, this is what I deal with on a daily basis. Yay. And it plays another goddamn video as soon as I click out of it. Okay, you know what? Close out of that. That's just lagging my OBS right now. Well, no, Drez, every time I've seen, like, I know, yeah, there was a few episodes where he was 340 to 350, but a good chunk of the time that I've seen him, it was at 360 or 370. Especially with the, I'm pretty sure he was 370 in the episode where the darkest twin, Kenji? I think his name is Kenji? I'm pretty sure it was Kenji. Personally, I looked at more like the end of the year review of the current status of the game and some of the issues currently there for a player perspective, which newcomers may want to know about. Uh, well, no, hold on. Okay, hold on. I hate OBS right now, dude. Okay, hold on. Is it working now? There we go. Hold on, JG, if you're still in here, Are you talking about Klepto's video for that? Or are you talking about just in general all the videos that were made? Which another one? Triple chain cards counting teammates. Generated clips I haven't investigated yet. Okay. No. So the thing about Klep's video, again, this is what I interpreted. His entire video was literally him just ranting. He waited until the end, like the last, I want to say, minute and a half of to actually list the issues that were in the game, like the crashing issue. That entire video was him just ranting about Darkus. That was it. Which I understand some of the points, but the main point that I was really pissed about is the fact that he didn't do his research. Darkus did have a negate in the show. It's just that right now, that Darkus negate was used as Reaper's exclusive cards in the game, which I already talked to Dev about that, and the only reason that's the case is because it was just for the health of the game, and then he was talking about giving card like Dark Eye Superior being added. It was literally just to give Reaper cards, so that way he was somewhat usable. Assuming we mean his last video, it was more of a rant. Yeah, it was, Drez. It was. It and he's a good guy to talk to. He really is. But that video really pissed me off. And for everybody that has ever been in a Discord VC with me, or has seen me talk in the game, or if there's anybody in the Discord that just so happens to know me IRL, I am a very hard person to piss off. Most of the time, I'll laugh everything off. I take everything as a joke. I don't have a filter. But when you're talking bad about something, instead of using your head and thinking before you speak, because even as somebody who doesn't have a filter, I will think before I say anything. You can't just make a video about a game that's in beta and try to make the video about the problems of the game, but then turn it into a rant fest. Because that is all, like, again, nothing against him, but that's all that video turned out to be. And it was really disappointing. Marco, we're talking about the issues of the game. This is just a discussion stream, basically. Basically, just talking about the game. If you have anything you want to talk about, whether it be issues or just good stuff about the game too, we can do that in here as well. It's a discussion stream. That's all this is. But right now at least for me at this current moment, I'm just talking about Klepto's newest video. I'm just honestly, a lot of the content creators right now are just I'm not trying to talk shit on anybody. I'm not that type of person. But right now, I'll accept Zeno. Zeno is. Did he make a video on this? I, f- I don't know if he actually made a video. If he did, I haven't seen it yet. Okay, he did, but it was... when? Four weeks ago, I think? Or, hold on, let me look. No, it's 4 days ago. Okay. Well, I don't like the imbalance of attributes. That's something. Okay, that's nothing new, Marco. That was even before this update. That was even before Darkest got its card. And again, y'all can hate me for saying this. Darkest is not at the top. It may be near the top when it comes to 1v1 battles, but it's not at the top. It may be second or third, but I promise you it's not at the top. Especially with people running multiple Guardians, it's not, dude. Darkest right now, its main strength, and this was its main strength, and I will say this at the top of my lungs, I fucking hate using this specific card. Doom Companion. Chaos, Ventus, and Darkest, I think is top. Yeah, it is. Okay, and I'm glad you said that. And that's you as a Darkest player, by the way. That is you as a Darkest player. And even if I wasn't a Darkest player, I would still say that. Because, okay, to do the math here, right? Chaos has 4 negates, and that's without running specific shit. Like, Tentaclear, Reaper. Which, by the way, I didn't know this. Tentaclear's negate card is a 3 of. I didn't know this until literally 3 days ago, and I found it out the hard way. Are they going to make it so you can only have one Guardian next update, or did I miss something? Okay, so this is another issue about this. I talked to Dev about this directly, and I talked to him about this also when we were having a little conversation in somebody else's ticket. He said, and I started saying this to people because, again, this is what he was saying, what he was thinking about doing. And the way he worded it was going to happen because it needs to happen, and it really does. I am sorry if anybody in here runs multiple aces is going to get pissed about what I'm about to say. But it really needs to fucking happen. Because all it is, and I will keep on saying this shit because it's true, a good chunk of the server will agree with me, and I'm sure most of you in here would agree with me as well. There's only fucking 5 people in here. Running multiple aces is just it's just you being a sheep. It's just a power grab. That is all it is. And the best part about it, if you make one mistake, if you build your deck wrong, you will brick yourself to hell. And I love it when people do it. Like when people run both Vlad, Vlad with let's go back to the old days, alright? Let's talk about the old day. Vlad, Hydronoid, and Laserman, alright? That's if you're running Merge Shield as well. That is 6 character abilities. That is 6 cards out of the deck. And depending on the attribute, that is running 6 less cards that you need for your attribute. Which means if those specific Bakugan are murked in a fight, that is 6 less cards in your deck that you're gonna be able to use. And that is another point that I try to get into people's heads not to run it. Because 1, you're gonna brick yourself. 2, you really gotta think about the new players that joined the game. And you gotta think about your own morals. Because think of it this way. If your entire reputation on the game no offense to here. I'm actually no. I don't want to list specific people. I don't want people targeting people. So we're just gonna here. Let's take me for an example. Okay, let's say I ran 2 or 3 guardians. Okay, ran it the entire time until an update drops that adds a tier system that limited. Your reputation is going to be stained with that. And this is okay. Again, if people would actually talk to me and sit with me in a Discord, I'm not proud of this, but I have a superiority complex, and that is why a lot of people in the Discord don't like me. Because, again, this was even before Darkest got their negate. My deck, and this is not me boasting either. I don't want to hear any of that shit. My deck was the most. Oh, Zeno's in here. What's up, Zeno? Fuck. Now I'm distracted. Where was I? I forgot where I was for a second. My deck, like, even before Darkest got their negate, my deck was one of the most consistent decks for Darkest players that you would see in that time. Why do people not like you? You're cool. Okay, so there's multiple reasons by this. Some of these are funny, and I do this on purpose because honestly, I don't mind being the bad guy. I don't mind people not liking me. Because when you are hated, most of the time people will actually listen to you when they listen to reason. So for instance, my whole point around, and here, Zeno can maybe vouch for me on this, alright? Zeno, when me and you fought in that video, you had a lot, if you're still in here anyways, you had a lot more fun using one ace battling me than you did running multiple aces, only fighting NPCs or the occasional player. If you're still in here, you can back me up on that, right? You had a little bit more fun than you did running multiple aces in that fight. Which, what again, GG's to you, by the way. That was fucked on my end. It's fun, but like you said, they can't use Guardian, then it's on them. Okay, but yeah, Gilly. Okay, so if you are smart and you run multiple aces, which honestly, I seen how you played, you're decent with it. But most of the time, all it is relying on the extra Gs. Because if you don't build your deck properly, you're going to get it fucked. But if you're like Silver, and you know how to do it, and this type of game, even for newbies playing, newbies have to have some sort of chance. And this is why I tell newbies to go straight for cards before they get Bakugan, because if you do the math, it's more expensive to get all the cards you need for a deck than it is to buy Bakugan. Because, again, one deck, if you're building it consistently, is like, I want to say 50, 45k by itself. That's including gate cards. Buying the Bakugan you need, the highest Guardian is 12k, which is Hydronoid. Laserman is... Correct me if I'm wrong. Laserman is 4,500 in the shop, correct? I might be wrong about this. Okay, let's just say I'm right for just the fucking sake of this conversation. And then let's say you're a normal person. You're not going to run Reaper with Laserman for the extra Gs. You're going to run, let's say, Siege, alright? All that together is easily less than 20k, 20 or 30k. I try to tell people to go straight for cards, then get the Bakugan they need, because it helps more. It's a little easier to, like, focus on the mindset of what you need. Pyrus is a lot better with the extra Gs. Yeah, it is. That's okay. That's Pyrus's whole gimmick. It's subtracting your opponent and it's increasing yourself at the same time. And that's another conversation I want to have too, but I'll get to that as soon as I'm done with this one. Fuck. So running multiple aces, again, it's a power grab. And I try to stir people away from it because it also hurts your deck consistency. consistency, sorry. But it will also, again, new players are needing to have a chance. That's what's going to keep this game afloat even during the beta. Because again, as new people are joining, well, right now, because of the whole crashing issue, it's going to be hard for new people to play, but if that gets fixed here soon, new people need a chance to be able to farm PvP, because you do get more HSP during PvP because you get it from tourneys or you get it just from single battles against other people. That's how I farm most of my HSP. I refuse to fight NPCs because, one, you barely get shit. At least when you're at my stage, I don't play new players, and I'm the most hated with the guard. Okay, Zeno, there's actually a reason behind that. It's mainly, well, actually, there's a few. The main reason I'm gonna say though is because you've been sitting at the top comfortably, which that's trophies to you on that one. But my opinion, you're not the most hated when it comes to running multiple aces. That fucking trophy belongs to both PK Lupin or Barbie. At least from what I've seen. Which actually, oh, I already have that one there. By the way, everything that's mentioned on this list, and Zeno, you're welcome to throw some shit in here. Everybody else is also welcome to throw stuff. But all this I'm sending directly to every single dev. Yeah, they did. I'm gonna forewarn you, Zeno. They're not hard to fight. It's just the fact that, well, okay, it depends on which deck they're using. They suck with Darkus, I will say this. They really suck with Darkus. Oh, wait, Mark, are you asking me who my Guardian is, or are you... I don't know who you're asking that. If you're asking me, I am mainly gonna be... Okay, I'm gonna have multiple decks. Okay, me? Alright, so... I'm gonna use that question towards the whole full game's release. By the time this game fully releases, for everybody who has seen me, and in case it's not obvious by my profile picture, I'm going to have, if again, this is going towards if they limit Guardians, which I fucking hope so, I will have a deck for every dragon-based creature. That will go for Hydronoid, Altair, Polynir. Doubt I'm going to make one for Drago. I am not a fan of Drago stages. It's just not for me, I guess. Basically stuff like that. I might make a Dragonoid deck. I already have one pre-made. I just don't want to use it. But, yeah. So why do you... Okay, I don't dislike you. Personally. In fact, okay, so, Zeno, this is the type of person I am, alright? If I dislike you, then I had to have actually had to talk to you in, like, a VC or something to, like, understand your vibe and shit. Like, understand how you talk. I'll dislike how you play, or dislike your... I want to say morals? It's not me disliking you. I am not a hateful person. I don't really hold grudges against people. Okay, there's one person I actually have a grudge on in this entire game, and it's fucking Ryan, because in the bot, all they do is stick to time, and I'm gonna laugh if they're in here, because it's gonna be funny as shit. But, every single time that I've seen them battle in the bot, when they're close to losing, and this is why I refuse to battle in the bot, because all it is just cheap plays, they have tied every single time that their battle lose. There might have been a couple instances where they couldn't and they just lost regardless. But they will purposely avoid a fight in the bot, just to make sure they don't lose. And I offered to buy them the game, and I also I actually paid for their Patreon just to find out that they are running their shit off of a Chromebook, which can't play the game. I'm not going to ask for a refund, because I already did before whenever it came to my buddy's laptop, and his apparently was a Chromebook as well, and he just didn't tell me until later. Yeah, rip. But, again, he's the only person I have a grudge against. Zeno, you were perfectly fine. The one thing I didn't like about the video, Zeno, that was made for our fight, was the fact that Klepto was literally just sitting in a VC with you and telling you how I played, basically. That part I really did not like. Ryan seems like a smart guy in terms of... Okay, no, here's the thing, alright? He will... This is nothing against him, this is just... Okay, it might be a little bit against him. He over-exaggerates how good his strategies would be. What do you think about Klepto new video? Oh, dude, okay, Zeno. This entire stream is being made because of that video. So, what he did, and this is just going to be... okay, you know what? I'm just going to say this bluntly. That video really pissed me off. It really did. Instead of him going about it the right way and talking about the actual main issues of the game, which the issues he pointed out, yes, Darkus is really fucked right now on the power scale, but at the same time, we needed it to contest with Chaos, and also the fact that okay, the only reason Darkus got the negate they have right now was because of a poll I made, but that poll was so every attribute got their negate in some way. Dev just took it the wrong way. But, in Klepto's video, all he did was complain about... Basically, he complained about Dark Eye Spirit. That is majority of what he did for the video. It was a little bit of a rant. Yeah, it was. It really was a rant fest, and that's what really pissed me off. Because the main issues that he should have talked about, he didn't talk about later in the video, like the last 30. Okay, yeah, Zeno, that's another main thing that really pissed me off, or about the update. They took away your guys' negate. And as somebody who you fought against, you'd think I'd be against that. I'm not. Every attribute Sorry, that was a burp. Every attribute needs their negate. And for Subterra, I don't remember if there was actually a negate that was shown in the show, but they could just take out one of Tricloid's abilities and use that as a negate for Subterra. Every attribute needs a negate in some way, but depending on the attribute, have it limited. At least one. Because, well, no, if they do at least one, because, hold on, Ventus has 4 at its current stage. And you can argue it doesn't, but it does. Reverse flow and backdraft count as negates. It's literally just you using your fucking head. That's all it is. Because, for instance, I throw into somebody who's using Ventus. I throw into their card, alright? I use Organo Revenge. They could either backdraft themselves, or not backdraft, reverse flow themselves, or they can backdraft me, and that stops the ability. That counts as a negate. Alright? That is a negate. Aquas has the best negate in the game currently because it negates an entire fucking chain. But at the same time, it does need to be limited to 1, I understand, but they could give them Aqua Guardian. Backdraft is a perfect... Yeah, it is. That's another point. I get why people complain... this goes to Laserman too. I get why people complain about Laserman. But at the same time, it's not really worth complaining about. Nerfing his G's that you get when you buy him, I would get that. His ability, though, definitely needs to get limited to 1. Like, I could, if it would let me, like, if my frames weren't shitty, I could pull up my deck right now. I only run 1. I have never ran more than 1. since my entire time playing the game. Not once. The only thing I did that I would do differently, or that I wouldn't, if I could go back in time and not do it, was run multiple Guardians. Well, no, the minus 50 was actually its effect from the show. That was its effects from the show. Because Tuskor has a similar ability, No Slap, which is a plus 50, I think. Here, I don't want to look this up on my laptop because my frames will fucking die, but I'm pretty sure it was a plus 50. Nose Slap ability card. Hold on. Pretty sure it was a plus 50. I might be wrong. Hold on. I gotta fucking find this shit. I was watching a video earlier of a 3v3, and literally everyone had Laserman. It's dumb. It's dumb to see everyone choose. Yeah, okay. Zeno, I don't know if you made a video on this. I don't know if you made any videos on meta. I sub to you because I try to follow all the content creators and see what's up with the game if I'm not on or not able to play. But and okay, Zeno, I am going to ask this from you, player to player, and this has nothing to do with this has nothing against the people that do this. They can do it. It's fine. Please don't make videos about the current meta because this game is, I'm sure, all of our childhoods, correct? This game is our childhood being brought back to life. Instead of us just having to rewatch the show over and over, because let's just face it, the new fucking remakes are ass. We don't want this to turn out like Yu-Gi-Oh! Where all people did was make videos on metas, make videos on really cheap to win decks and shit like that. I'd rather this game be... Again, this is just me. And this is me... For a lot of the games I play, because most of the time I work from home and stuff like that, I play all day, every day. Maybe not the same game all day, every day, but for games that I really enjoy, like here, let's just use Rust and Ark, for example. Rust PC, I had like 9,000 hours in before I stopped playing because I did ruin the game. Ark, I still play. I had like 12 to 13,000 hours in. And then a few others, I just had maybe a couple thousand. I don't know. But, if it's a game I enjoy, I will play it. I might take a break from it every now and again because I'll get burnt out on it. But I will still play it a majority of the time. I will try to play as much as I can. And this is my first time using OBS in, I want to say, 5 years, by the way. That's why this is open, because my laptop is shit, but as soon as I get my PC, I won't have to deal with this. But when it came to... most of my stuff was like streaming on Twitch and everything. That was my life. Gaming will forever be my life. But now that somebody is doing this, making a game like this, and I'm sure we can all agree in here, this is our childhood dream, basically, being brought to life. I am so glad they're doing it a little bit right by it, a little bit right by the game, but the way they're doing the updates and the way they're doing bug fixes, they're not doing it the right way. And wait, what do you feel are the main issues with the game at the moment? Okay. Currently, right now, the most urgent issue is the crashing that has been going on for the past 5 days. 4 or 5 days. If you're not going to add anything new to the game, at least make a version where it's fixed. Because it's not hard to do. I get it, it's a Unity game, it's hard to have more than one server, but you can very easily upload a server. You can increase the load it can take. It's not hard to do, and it does not cost any money. Yeah, they are. I have lost a lot of ranks because of it. Zeno, I just want you to know right now, if you're still in here, I would have passed you by now, and this is not me trying to boast, this is not me trying to call you out or anything. I would have fucking passed you by now if I didn't crash 6 times in tournaments. Because the last day that I did a tournament without having a major crash, I was up to like, I want to say 1496 or 960. So I, again, not trying to call you out, but I could have passed you. It's just the fact that as soon as the tournament was about to end, fucking crash. It was every single time. The meta is the thing I dislike the most. There's no creativity or actual strategy in people's decks. It's all the same. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna point out Silver here because I know for a fact he made a video isn't on the ranking anymore. He is. It's just he hasn't logged in. The way they do server restarts, it'll reset server data. So until the person logs on, their spot on the leaderboard doesn't get rendered in. I can promise you right now, unless somebody managed to get past him already, in points wise, he should still be at the top. And last time I checked he had, how much? I think he was up to 15k. Pretty sure he was up to 15k. But yeah, that's the way they do server restarts. Every time it restarts like that, or reset, it'll reset the ranking until that person logs in. Because I had that, I had a screenshot where it showed I was third on the leaderboard, but I was only at like 2k points, and this was like down when I first started. Which, by the way, I didn't start until I think a week or two after Vexos got access. Because I think it was only content creators or really active members had access to the game before Vexos did. But, Zerathon is at, last time I saw it was in it, 14, yeah, that might be correct. I'm pretty sure it was higher than 14,500. Speaking of which, Zen, are you still in here? Just so I'm not fucking beating a dead horse here. I'm gonna guess he's not, but it's alright. But back to Matthew's statement. Main issues. Besides the urgent crashing that needs to be fucking fixed as soon as possible. The other main issue is... Well, okay. This is going to be a more personal issue. People being sheep and running multiple Guardians because they see other people doing it. The other issue, and my poll should have helped with this, but it didn't, and I'm a little disappointed about that because the poll I made was so every attribute had a negate, or something along the lines. It just was never done. In fact, the only one that got added was Dark Eye Superior. Like, they could have added, Aqua Guardian. They could have added Melting Burst for Pyrus. They could have taken Cycloid's ability. Because, by the way, people, in case it's not already obvious, when it comes to coding negations, it's literally copy and paste. When it comes to coding. That is all it is. And then for whenever Frame Fire was a negate, if you want to add an additional effect, like a -50 or somewhere along that lines, you just add a little bit of extra code. It's not hard to do. And that that's what makes this a little more disappointing. Like, this is nothing against Dev, but for tiny shit like this, that needs to happen, so that way there's some sort of balance. It's just not done. And I get it, he wants to focus on models that are not currently in the game. I understand that. You want to add more shit to the game as soon as possible. But at the same time, this goes back to me saying how new people should focus on cards. That's also what devs should do. Add Bakugan that already have models in the game, because again, it is not hard to bring those over. That's what most of the models are. Most of the models are copy and paste. In fact, if it's not already hard to tell, you can pull up I can't do it on here because I'm running OBS, but if you pull up a model engine and you access this game's files, you can pull the models from everything. And if you pay very close attention, Juggernaut's model, or animations, and Tigrera's models and animations, they are not that different. It pretty much just looks like they changed the width of the body, like for Juggernaut, added the shell, changed the width of the body, changed the size of the tail, and then all you really had to do to change it up a bit was change the attack animations. Like, Juggernaut just fucking punch you with his forehead. Tigrera just gnaws on you, basically. Wouldn't you want to buy Bakugan first so you can... no. Especially not with the leveling system right now. If you do the math, it's more expensive to buy all the cards you need than it is to buy Bakugan. That's why I try to stress to new people as much as I can that it's better just to buy the cards you need than it is to buy the Bakugan. Because as you're trying to farm for the cards, the Bakugan you start with will start leveling up. But by the time they get to a certain level, you would already be replacing them. So either way, you would be leveling them up. And think of it this way. You're going to lose a lot of battles at the start. And this is going against NPCs. You use the points you get from either winning or losing. You buy the cards you need. You have an increased chance of winning, which means you get more HSP. You buy more of the cards you need. And then once you get all the cards you need, you should already have enough for a Guardian. Or any other Bakugan you want to run. You buy that. You use that the most. Specifically your Guardian. I'm mainly talking about a Guardian here. You use that. You level it up. And as it's leveling, you get more HSP, which means you'll be able to buy the other Bakugan you need. They will level up. You get more HSP. And then you buy the third that you need. It's an ongoing process. That's the whole point of farming. It's literally the whole part of farming. You want to buy the more expensive shit first, and then buy the cheaper stuff. It's like playing a tycoon, basically. You want to spend the most amount of money at the start. Actually, no. It's more like investing in real estate. You want to spend a lot of money on one property. You get money back from that investment. Then you use that. You buy cheaper homes. You refurbish them. You're gonna take a lot of money on that, and then you get even more profit from them. It's the same concept. It's just using your head. It's just using a calculator, doing math. I'm surprised Centipoid isn't in yet. Okay, yeah, that's another thing. I get he wants to do the harder ones first. Like, I'm talking about four-legged, by the way. But, here, let's just use Hydronor and Tigrera, for instance. Hydronor and Tigrera have the same standing pose, for the most part. How long has it been since... I think it's, 3 weeks since this past update? It might be longer, I might be wrong, I don't know. But, when it comes to models, you can easily copy and paste Tigrera's, change the body stances. Hydronoid would be in the game. I'm talking about base form, by the way. Base Hydro would have been in the game already. It's just the matter of doing. It's a matter of pacing yourself. I want to say that's all it is. But when it comes to stuff like Centipoid, he really should already be in the game because actually not just him, Rattaloid should also already be in the game because both Rattaloid and Centipoids, the way they sit on the card, or the way they would sit on the card, I want to say, because in the Wii game you just seen them popping out and then them just standing there. The way they would stand on the card is almost the exact same as Serpenoid in the game currently. In fact, for Serpenoid and Rattaloid, just take Serpenoid's model, change the tail, add the rattle, change the width of the head, change the pattern that goes along his scales down his back. His Serpenoid's fangs are already pointing down. That's already there for you. The tongue animation already there for you. Just remove the frills on the side of Serpenoid's neck. Change how narrow his head is so it looks like Rattaloid, and bingo, Rattaloid would be in the game. Centipoid. Get rid of the frills. Make Serpenoid's body animation more flat. Add the little legs that you don't even need to animate them. Most of the legs you don't need to animate. Just have them sitting there. Then the ones that do move, and this includes the his pincers. You can take Bee Striker's like wing flapping animation, change them, like model them to look like Centipoid's pincers, link them to the body, and then just change the speed that they move. It's not hard to do. It's like playing Spore. I don't know if anybody's ever played Spore before, but actually I'm pretty sure Spore ran off Unity. I can't remember. But even in Spore, you didn't need to code anything. You didn't need to adjust the speed of anything. Are you going to make... No, I'm not going to make my... Okay, Zeno, I would. I don't have the mindset. I don't have... I want to say the will to do it. I did attempt at one point. And it got to the point where I just sound... I have modeled for people before. I have used Unity models before. I have helped people do this type of shit. Because, again, if anybody has ever played Spore in here before, Spore is the same kind of thing that Unity runs off when it comes to making models. Because, okay, Spore... hold on. Let me see if it'll let me pull up shit without my stream lagging. I'm gonna have to close out of tabs. Let me save this. Or not tabs. Let me save this if it lets me. Okay, you know what? I'll just type all this shit out again. It doesn't matter. I don't care. Zeno, have you ever heard of Spore? Because if you haven't, then I'm probably going to have to explain it. Okay. So, what Spore was, it was basically a game where you start out as an amoeba. You can't really do much at that stage. You have to play through the game. You have to gather points, stuff like that, evolve, basically. But then once you got to the second stage, that's where you could actually make your creature. You could adjust, like, everything about it. And it was the same type of thing when it comes to running a Unity engine model. You could adjust the size of your mouth, the width of your body. You could adjust the skeleton. You could adjust how big your wings were, how fast they flapped, how long they... Anything. You could adjust anything. And if you go on YouTube... Like, if you... Okay, here, take this for example. If any of you are a How to Train Your Dragon fan, there is a YouTuber that did a whole tournament thing where he took... Or he made all the models for every dragon that was used in that tournament, and he made them fight each other. He sat there for, I want to say, 3 days, making all the models for each of the dragons, even the huge ones, even the ones that walked on multiple legs. He sat there for 3 days making the model, and I'm actually going to see if I can pull up the video. But, hold on. YouTube. Oh, wait, I won't be able to... Actually, no, I can pull this up. It's not copyright claimed. Because I'm going to have to find a way to give them credit. Actually, no, because it's an old channel. It doesn't matter. I don't care. I got to make sure this isn't lagging on the stream while I'm doing this. It's going to be a little laggy, but it's going to be fine. How to train your dragon tournament battle sport, right there. Let's see if it comes up with the video. This channel right here, Xart Flicks. And here, I'm just gonna hover over it so y'all can see a little bit. Fuck off with that. Here, I'm just gonna hover over it so y'all can see, alright? It might not show the full thing in the little preview. It should show the models. Okay, you know what? We're just gonna click into this. It doesn't look the best, I will say that. It doesn't look the best, but this game is years old. This is from 8 years ago, alright? Somebody did this in 3 days 8 years ago on a much shittier version than Unity. Alright? So, keep that in your head while you're seeing this. Okay, hold on. I might not be... Okay, I'm not going to be able to play that. I'm not going to be able to play that. Okay, we should be back. I don't have my chat open. Give me 1 second. I have to reopen YouTube. This is fucking 8. Okay, there we go. I can see my chat now. Someone let me know, is the audio good? Is it still okay? I just want to make sure. Okay, just making sure. Alright. Instead of me looking up a video, I'm just gonna pull up images of this, alright? If it bugs out on this shit, I'm gonna be a little mad. Spore. Images. Okay, nope, that's not it. Let me find a... Okay, like, look at this. It's 3D. It's 3D, and this game is, like, 12 years old. These are, like, creepy creatures that people made, by the way. This is not meant to be showing off what Dev is doing. But those are from 8 years ago. God damn it. Oh wait, no, it's back. I think it's back. Is it back? I think Spore doesn't like you. Yeah, it probably doesn't. It probably doesn't. Hold on, I'm gonna stop it for a second, and then it will be back up. Hold on. Okay. Should be okay now. I'm not pulling up Google again. Fuck that. I will say this though. If you guys just want to see what the models look like for that, I will find a way. Just look up Spore on YouTube. You guys will get the point of what I'm trying to make. That game is 12 years old, and it's easier to model a creature on there for it being a 12-year-old game. It should be the same difficulty on Unity. It's just you gotta do a little bit more. Especially with the game that we are all playing right now. Like, it's not hard. It really isn't. It's time consuming, yes. You gotta worry about other stuff. You gotta worry about coding. But when it comes to models, it's... I don't know, dude. Like, I'm not saying I could do it. I've helped with it. I have done stuff very close to it. I've helped do stuff very close to it. I just don't personally have the will and the time to do it. Nor do I have the processing power to do it. But, yeah. Besides that, it's literally just cards that are missing. It's specific Bakugan that need to be in the game, just aren't putting into the game. I might see if I can hop Bakudev in here. I don't want to add him or anything in the fucking Discord. I'm just gonna DM him if he opens that. I cannot see my chat, by the way, if anybody types. Give me 1 minute. This is the one time that Dev is actually active. If you're free, you mind hopping in my stream at Spiral. No, that's not what I was trying to type. There we go. Okay. Let me open this back up. Unrelated question. How many ability cards does Fortress have for faces? Face of Joy, which is his, gate card negate, I believe. Face of Grief, which is his ability card negate. And then Face of Rage, which is a transfer 50. And then no, never mind. Hold on. Well, no, he does have Face of Joy, but that was in Season 2. I'm pretty sure that was in Season 2. Might be wrong about that, but that's the only time I remember Face of... Wait, no. Hold on. Wait. Face of Grief was... No, Face of Grief was the gate card negate. Wasn't it? Hold on. I can't remember anymore, dude. Fortress abilities. I know Face of Rage. I know Face of Rage's effect. I just don't care for Fortress enough to remember all of his shit. Bakugan. Also, I spelled Fortress wrong, apparently. Face of Joy. Wait, what? Drago claimed he had this ability, but Fortune. Oh no, Face of Grief was the. Okay, so I was right. Face of Grief was the gate card negate. Okay, so I was right. Face of Joy was never in season used in season. Okay, okay, it wasn't used in season 1, but it was talked about. Whenever Fortress was first put on the field, um Drago did mention him having the third ability, which was he said sadness, anger, and I think it was pride. It might have been something else. It might have been something else said, but it was mentioned. It just was never used the first season. It was used in season 2. Or wait, maybe it wasn't. No, hold on. What ability was used in season 2? I'm not looking this up. I don't feel it. So is Face of Joy in the gate? Yeah, it is. It negates the gate card. Face of Grief negates the gate card. Oh shit! Give me a second. I was tabbed out. All right. I have to fucking fast forward 17 seconds. Anywho. In season 2, it was the same thing, but with different... Yeah. I know Face of Joy was used. I just can't remember. Which guard would you consider to be the strongest that most people should use? When it works properly, Hypermerge. I still use it as it is right now, but currently right now, Hypermerge acts like Energy Merge on steroids. The way it's supposed to work is no matter who lands on the card first, the owner of the card or the teammates who are on the same side as the owner of the card are supposed to get the 100 Gs from the opponent. But current Grand Spirit is busted, but that's if you don't get fucked over by the amount of gate cards. When I at least for me, what I count the best card, I mean being able to use in like 3v3s, 2v2s, singles, whatever. In fact, Hypermerge get most of its buff when you're doing team battles. Because for every one of your Bakugan from your side, the opponent gets subtracted by 100. And then each one of you gain 100. So for instance, if I throw Reaper down onto the card, they throw a Bakugan on, and I bring in Leo with Darkest Gravity, both my Leo and my Reaper would gain 100. The opponent would lose 200 immediately, even if it was just one of them. Fortress was my childhood favorite, so I can't wait to get a chance to play the game. Fortress? You know what? I'll give you props for that one. I'm not a big fan of running Bakugan that aren't dragon-like in some way. Like, I swear to God, I'm going to have a deck for every single one of them once the game is full released. Whether that be Apolloneer, Helios, Hydronoid, all... Okay. Besides Dual Hydra. I'm not a fan of Dual Hydra. I don't like the way he looks. I don't like his abilities. Because... Base Hydra... Okay, Hydronoid's evolution, the way he works is as he evolves, he loses abilities power-wise, but gains some that are just for more trap effects until he reaches his... Can't wait to... yeah, I don't know about that one, Marco. People already have trouble fighting my Leonidas. I mean, I don't blame him, but I'm just glad he got the buff he did. And I won't be mad if his card gets limited the next update or something like that. But for the current state of the game, he needed that extra card. He needed that extra Alpha Blaster. And I get it. It's very unfair if you just so happen to have both of those in your hand. That's a plus 400 in your hand. But at the same time, it's a matter of RNG. It's a matter of actually drawing cards. And that can also go towards Leap Sting. That can also go towards people using multiple Guardians, which I understand Leap Sting. Leap Sting definitely needs to get limited. But when it comes to people running, this whole shenanigans right here, if it will let me highlight it, you guys should get the point. This shit right here. When it comes to running that type of thing, it's a complete matter of RNG if you win a fight. And that's what I like people to run through their heads. And that's why I don't like people running multiple. It's not just because of newbies. That's the main reason I don't like newbies having to deal with that. I don't like me having to deal with that. Depending who the player is, I struggle, but most of the time it's no offense to anybody, but this also includes the rest of the Darkest players. This is no offense to you, Dresden, because I'm pretty sure you're still in here, so you're going to hear this. A lot of the other Darkest players or people who run multiple Guardians kind of bore me. Because it's not that they're bad. A lot of them are bad. Dresden, you as a Darkest player, you're chill. You're decent. So you're up there. But when it comes to everything else, everybody's just predictable. And even with a shitty opening hand, it is very easy to bait people. Like, by the way, Drez, you are one of the best Darkest players I've seen so far. You are. I am making a leaderboard list for each attribute. People might not like my opinions. There may be some people on there that need to be on there. I'm just going off of what I've seen from me either spectating or them being on my team in the fights. I'm just going completely off of what I've seen from that or in videos. Like for Ventus, I'm also not including people that are being sheep. There is like a couple people on each list that I will. Like, Silver might get mad at me for saying this. He is not on the list of Pyrus players. I'm sorry, but he's not. He's decent, and even with him not running multiple aces, still not on that board. Neither will Ryan. Until I see Ryan actually play the game, which won't be for a while most likely, until they get a different laptop or something, they won't be on that list. Now that you mentioned dragons, there any dragon Bakugan that aren't considered guardians? There are technically two. There was mock dragonoids, which were used in, I forget the exact episode. It was when Dan was fighting Apollonier. And then in Season 2, when Dan was fighting Spectra for the first time, I think they were called Hyper Dragonoids. Or Mock Hyper Dragon. I forget what they were called. But it was the ones that had the ability to let them whip out weapons, basically. Those I would not consider. They have abilities for themselves, but I don't consider them guardians. What I consider a guardian is a Bakugan with a specific ability meant directly for them. Each protagonist or antagonist were the only ones that had them, and only had one of them. And ones that have... okay, this is... You know what, now that I think about it, this is a very controversial thing. Basically, stuff that you didn't see people running multiple of. Because if you... people will try to argue saying Reaper is one. He's not. If you go back and rewatch the 2 episodes that Runo said she retired from battling, and then the episode where she said she retired from retiring from battling, if you pay very close attention, she had a Reaper in her collection. And then the episode where Klaus fought Alice after she lost to Dan whenever Alpha Hydronoid and Dragonoid fought, Klaus also had a Reaper in his collection. Also, no, it's not just gonna be if they implement it. I promise, Marco, I'm not ignoring you. I'll get to you in a second. When it comes to that type of thing, at least this is what I'm hoping for, because it would change the meta entirely. It would make people actually have to think about building a deck, and it would actually make them decide to choose one of these things. My opinion on how the system should be done is it be a tier system. Tier 3 and 4 would consist of nothing but Guardians. Tier 4 would not be able to be used in tournaments. So that would go for Alpha Hydronoid, that would go for Wyvern if she gets added to the game, that would go for the hybrids, stuff like that. Stuff that has very broken abilities or will have broken abilities when they get put into the game. Heck, I wouldn't even be mad if base Hydra gets put into that tier, because honestly, I'm still going to use him regardless, because he is really good, but also because I do have him IRL. I have multiples of him IRL, like base form Hydra. So I'm going to run him regardless, and actually he might be the reason why I will make a different deck for each attribute. It's either him or Wyvern if they get added. But when it comes to the tier system, I'm hoping it limits it through tiers. Like, for instance, Tier 3 and Tier 4 will be Guardians. Tier 4 can't be used in tournaments. Tier 3, you're only allowed one Tier 3 in your deck. Tier 2 would consist of Bakugan like Laserman, Reaper, Tuskor, Mantris, what else? There was another one. Wormquake. Mannion, I think, had a couple broken abilities. El Condor had a very broken ability. Subterra Condor had Dragoon, which added your opponent's current Gs to Subterra El Condor. That could be argued to be in a Tier 2 system. And then Tier 1 would be Bakugan like Siege, Serpenoid, Theoripper, Reptalion, maybe Rattaloid. Rattaloid might actually be Tier 2. I'm gonna have to think about that one. But I'm excited to see Mannion get added. He'll totally be on my team. I like the concept of Mannion, but I guess I'm not. I just don't like Mannion. Like, he's a cool concept, or she, whatever it is. I just don't like the way it looks. In my opinion, it looks like they tried to cross-reference Griffin and change it to look more Egyptian. Because there is not much difference between Griffin and Mannion. And I guess that's what really pushes me off of it. He looks funky, that's why I like You know what? That's valid. That's valid. Also, Chasen, what do you think about being able to open gate cards outside of battles? Okay. It's really a love-hate with that. So when it comes to cards like Battle Sham or Aquamerge, maybe, I like the fact that you can force activate them if 2 of your Bakugan are on the card. But when it comes to cards like Magma Fuse, what else? There's another card. Warp Gate, maybe? Warp Gate might be another reason why I wouldn't like. I don't know. I'm got to do some testing with it if I can actually play the fucking game. It really depends on the card. And some cards, I don't like the fact that they force activate the second a second Bakugan gets added. Like, I get for additional task, I get for Mind Ghost, but when it comes to cards like Griffin has a what do you mean? No, that's Chaos Griffin. That's Chaos Griffin. Technically, Chaos has 2 revive cards. Because Pure Light technically revives a Bakugan. And technically, you could steal a Bakugan from the enemy team and use it. Like, for instance, somebody could steal my Leo if they wanted to fuck me over. But that's another conversation about the whole balancing issue. People will bitch. I get why though about Darkus getting the card they did. In my opinion, each attribute should have their negate, just depending on the attribute, limited to 1. But when it comes to Chaos, they are getting everything except for movement cards. Unless you're running Tigrar. Tigrar's card is technically, in my opinion, a movement card because you can just fucking enter her into battle whenever you want. But the fact that Chaos will technically have 2 revives, 4 or 5 negates, and then they have a card like Chaos Stasis. Which, by the way, the fact that your team... Okay, when it comes to teammates, if you're running team battles, in my opinion, y'all can hate on me for this if you want. I don't care. When it comes to Chaos Stasis, if you're running team battles, this thing right here, triple chain cards counting teammates, should not be a thing. Because if you read the card, if you read Chaos Stasis, it flat out states if you control 3 Chaos. Not your teammates. At least I think it says if you... Hold on, if somebody can DM me a picture of Chaos Stasis, just so I'm not saying this shit and it turns out I'm just fucking wrong the entire time. If somebody could DM me a picture of that real quick, that'd be sick. But I'm pretty sure it's if you control 3 Chaos. Well, okay, Drez, it's not just that. For the Pot of Greed thing, Chaos Stasis is your... Yeah, it should be your own. But the issue is with that card is it counts your teammates, so they draw 1 and you draw 2. And people want to bitch about Darkus having the power grab. Like, I get it, each attribute should have their own gimmick. It is. It's stupid. And I told Joga about this too, that it should not be counting your teammates as well, but it is, and it's... Ugh. I'm not a fan of it. That's all I'm going to say about it. But I don't know. Oh, by the way, just realized what time it was. Happy New Year's to everybody. I feel like an asshole for not saying that, but Happy New Year's to everybody. For me, it's 12/18. It's officially 2024, and it's a shit show already. Alright. Before I go into any other... Wait, hold on. Happy New Year, though. I'm an hour behind. It's 6 a.m. here. Been a happy... Jesus Christ. You're fucking... I remember the old days in Australia. I was thinking something like the episode where they did a 33 Chan activated quartet battle as soon as she threw her Bakugan next to Tentaclear. I don't know if they force act. I think it's... Wait. Was that force activated the second Chan threw? Or not Chan, Wait, I might have to go back and relook at that. I don't remember that. I don't know. I'll actually hold on. I can pull this up on my Xbox right now because I'm not using my Xbox for anything. Let me pull this up. Actually, I'm gonna have to turn my TV volume down so it doesn't go through my mic. Where is it? Bro, it's 4:20 p.m. January 1st, right? God damn. How long have I been live, if we're counting total? Okay, I've only been live for an hour. Well, technically it's been 2, because I had to stop the stream before, and it went weird. Somebody just fired a gun outside my house. Oh, wait, never mind, that's not a gun, that's a firework. What the fuck? I thought it was a gun. I thought it was a gun. That's funny. I'm gonna laugh if the yard catches on fire from this shit. Tentacleer was on Chan's card, then Chan threw Fortress down onto the same card. Forced Quartet Battle into activating, then Cyranoid and Drago joined. Wait, really? I need to go look at. Hold on. I need to look at this. I'm pretty sure I remember which episode it was. No, it was before this. It was way before this. Was it episode 22? Hold on. Goddamn ads. I play for you. Okay, so it was episode 22. Hold on. I need to see this. Skip. So it was right before they activated Cut and Slayer, wasn't it? It might have. I'm pretty sure it was right before they activated. Okay, yeah. Hold on. Pirate. Okay, here it is. Chan throws Fortress. Wenzel and Tentacleer. Oh my god! I didn't fucking notice that! Yo, that's wild. I am actually glad you pointed that out. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense now. I was wondering where they got the gimmick of double standing with each other on the game. Now I understand. I forgot about this. Holy shit. Oh my god, and I feel like an idiot now for that. Holy shit. Because the only thing I actually remembered from this episode was Drago almost getting fucked and ended up evolving because of it. As the one thing I remembered from this episode. That is hilarious. But, nah, besides the point, okay, so depending on the concept, I do like cards being force activated. It's just in certain instances. Like, for instance, you moving your own Bakugan to the card, I don't like it force activating like that. Like, for instance, I've gotten screwed over in one separate occasion where I was about to get leap stung. So I tried moving my Leonidas over to the card that the Bakugan that was being leap stung was on, but the card was trade off and it immediately triggered. That's the one thing I don't like about gate cards activating currently. Like I get for stuff like Mind Ghost like that where it's immediate as soon as 2 Bakugan are on the card, it force activates. But when it comes to your own command cards, that kind of require a battle to be started. I might be tripping here, but for stuff, okay, maybe, maybe for trade-off, I would understand it. This is me more being biased, if anything. Me personally, I think you should be able to open gate cards like triple battle and quartet battle outside of battle. Well, for stuff like that, I think they did it more of a balancing kind of thing. I don't know. But in my opinion, for stuff like that, it wouldn't make much sense to be able to force activate it. Because that's diving way too into the show's parameters. Because if you think about it, if you did something like that, it would either maybe bug the game, or it would be a matter of a major fuck you to everybody. Especially with Darkest players actually running Doom Companion, which, by the way, I'm most likely removing that from my deck because the only reason I use it is just to bait negates. That's literally, if it goes off, then it goes off. It is what it is, and it's really funny to use against people who like to double stack instead of challenging. Which I get why it's 2v2s or 3v3s. Do what you want. But it's really funny to push people like that and they can't do anything about it unless they negate it. It is kind of crazy. You can force a 3v1 with Quartet. Wait, can you? Oh yeah, with Quartet you can. Yeah. If nobody can throw a Bakugan, yeah, you can. That's the main reason I've been trying to get Triple Battle. It just hasn't appeared in the shop, or I'm just crazy and it's not actually in the game yet. I'm pretty sure it was, because I've seen it on a couple occasions. I just never bought it because I didn't realize if I would need it, or I just didn't have enough for it. But that's primarily the same reason I want to. Because the thing with Triple Battle is, depending on who owns the card, or depending on how much Bakugan you have left, that is an almost guarantee you're forcing a 2v1 situation. And it's hilarious. It is hilarious to use against people. But yeah, back to that. For stuff like force activating Quartet or Triple, not a fan of that, because that can both end in you getting screwed, or you haven't seen Triple. I might be tripping. I thought I've seen it. It might be the same thing, because I also have seen this was during the alpha during one of Klepto's streams, and I know it's in the game. I 100% know that's in the game. It's just not buyable yet because Base Hydra isn't in the game. And because if it was buyable right now, it would be absolutely stupid, and it would make people run dual Hydronoid right now, and it would be the meta right now. But one of Hydronoid's abilities, besides Merge Shield, it's called Gravity Chamber. It is in the game. It's just not buyable right now. It should be an option, but you have to be smart if you want to. Yeah, see, here's the issue about that one, Marco. It's a card game. People don't read, and this is not to offend anybody in here, but people don't read, and it's funny to watch people suffer because of it. And I can't even say there's anything bad with that. I'm dyslexic. Okay? I am very dyslexic. But the way I build my shit, I will remember everything that I can do. That's why during like certain battles, if I know I'm gonna lose because of my opening hand, like near the end of the turn, I don't mind forfeiting right there because there's nothing I can do. They can have that way. Most of the time, I do best out of threes. Also, back to Matthew about the third judgment card. I cannot wait for that card to be coded, because the way that needs to, or the way it's supposed to work, or at least how it should work in the game, if there's two Bakugan from the same side, um, their power levels won't stack. So whatever Bakugan on that card is the highest Gs, unless the gate card gets negated, it acts like a Mind Ghost. Or at least that's how it should act like. So whatever Bakugan has the most Gs on that card wins immediately. How many Judgment cards are there? Final Judgment, which is mainly for Chaos users. If any non-Chaos Bakugan lands on the card, their Gs get sapped to 0 immediately. And then Third Judgment, the battle can't start unless there's 3 Bakugan on the card. And once there's 3 Bakugan, only one can survive. That's how I think it'll act like, Matthew. In my opinion, that's how it should act like, because it's not going to make much sense where one Bakugan's just sitting there murdering one at a time. The Chaos coded, I think it is coded yet. I'm pretty sure it is. Again, not a Chaos user, so I can't 100% that, but I'm pretty sure it is, because I'm pretty sure I've seen somebody using it. And actually, I'm pretty sure I got it used on me a few times at the very beginning, but I haven't seen that card since. I played against somebody. Were you using it, or was somebody else using it? Not sure if it was bug or coding. Again, was it you using it, or was it the opponent? Someone else. Matthew, you used Aquos last time I checked, right? Yeah, I was about to say, you play Aquos. Okay. Were you... No, wait, Praeus wouldn't... Or Aquos Praeus wouldn't switch to Chaos. Never mind. It might have been a bug? Or just the card not... I'm not gonna lie, dude. I can't 100% that, dude. I haven't seen that card in a hot minute. It might not be working though. It was my side. Okay. Yeah, I again, I can't 100% that for you. Honestly, hold on. When we're back to cards being coded, the one card I do want to see how they're gonna do is Androstasis, which if anybody doesn't remember what that card does, you have to basically suicide yourself on that card for it to work properly. But the loser basically gets all of their Bakugan revived as long as they had one Bakugan left, whether that be on the field or in their hand. Like, for instance, having a hard time deciding between Pyrus and Aquos for me. Like, you using Pyrus or Aquos? Or... okay. When it comes to... Actually, no, it doesn't really matter. When it comes to choosing an attribute, it depends on what you want to run deck-wise. Like, if you wanna run a full, like, oh, I'm gonna just steal all your Gs or make you lose everything, or being able to move around on the cards, Pyrus is decent. They did lose their negate, which I'm honestly sad about, but they're still decent. Again, it's just using your brain. Aquos is really good for having the same kind of gimmicks that Ventus does, where you can double team people or negate their gate cards in a different chain or whatever. You can end an entire chain as well. They're what's it called? What's it called? Water Reframe. That's what it is. Water Reframe is very stupid. And then when it comes to And okay, here's my opinion. One of the most broken cards right now for Aquos, and this is if you can pull it off, is Holographic Divide. That shit stacks. So if you use 2 on 1 Bakugan and you're standing comfortably, every turn you're getting 100 Gs. It is very stupid. And honestly, it almost made me want to make an Aquos deck because me and Legacy tested this out because he wanted to see if it stacked, and I flat out said, dude, imagine if it stacks. We sat there for 2 turns trying to set this shit up, and he managed to do it. He was getting 150 Gs per turn, and by the end of it, because we were just letting it sit there to see how long it would sit there, he was up to like, I want to say, I think it was like 960 before I had to kill him. It feel I I like I like broken English. It feels more win more time or more sometimes. God, I fucking can't speak. Honestly, wish I could fucking play the game while doing this, but I don't trust my OBS to be able to run properly. So I'll wait until I can get my PC, which I will be getting before the end of this month. I'm gonna aim for maybe the 13th to get it. We'll see. Yeah, it would. The one I'm getting right now, well, actually, it might be a little longer because after I get the PC, I'll have to order a monitor, unless I can manage to get my old piece of shit one to work that I had for like a Windows 7 computer. It might be able to work. I don't know. We'll see. But are you gonna? Yeah, I'm definitely gonna be streaming the game. I know for a fact that other PC will be able to handle it, and I flat out said to Legacy, and I flat out said to Silver, and I forget who else, that the second I get that PC hooked up, I will be streaming every fucking day, and I will be making videos every fucking day. I might not be posting every day, but there will be videos being recorded every day. I just got to sit there and have the time to edit them. So I'll probably do an upload like every day or two, or day or every day or three. I don't know. We'll see. And that's also going to be the main time that I'm actually going to be promoting this game because I would be okay. I don't want to promote the game right now because of its current state of it crashing because there's a shit ton of people joining. But I am part of a couple gaming organizations that I know for a fact this was many of their childhoods. And I know for a fact they would love this game. I don't want to promote it though and give it a bad rep when it's at the state it is. It does not deserve that. It really doesn't. I want to promote this game when it's at a good point. When it's at a healthy point. But as of right now, okay. So what I'm gonna do before I actually get my PC depends on how many. Yeah, it is. This game will be fucking like a godsend. It's just it needs to be done in moderation. It needs to be done the right way, and the people who promote the game need to do it the right way. That is the main reason why I hate people posting metas and stuff. There's a difference between helping with people's decks and giving a deck outright for people to copy. That is what killed games that involved strategy. That is the main thing that killed the game. What do you think is going to be added in the next update? I don't know, but what I want personally, base form Hydra, Mantris. I'm talking Bakugan wise, by the way. I don't care about cards. Honestly, for card wise, if I am gonna care, I want every attribute to have their negate. That or sorry, Omni negate. I want every attribute to have their own Omni negate. That way, everybody will stop bitching. Then the game can continue. Or maybe the tier system. That's the other thing I really hope for. But when it comes to Bakugan, Mantris, Hydronoid, maybe the evolved forms of Leo and Vlad? Maybe? Maybe? That's what I want. I want to see 5th Paladin. I don't know if I want to see 5th Paladin in the game, not gonna lie. I wasn't a fan of them. Okay, so the 5th Paladin was more of a redesign of Robotalon, just an army of them. They weren't really unique. They had like one ability, I'm pretty sure. That ability also didn't have a basic effect. That effect wasn't listed. There are a few abilities that don't actually have listed effects. But when it comes to them specifically, I hope they don't get added. But that's just me. Other people would like them. But they had shield. Yeah, so did Gorham. Gorham also had a shield. In fact, Gorham actually had plot armor with that bitch. And in fact, if you go in Gorham's description in the game right now, literally says that Bakugan's G power were lowered every time they hit Gorham's shield. It's fucking hilarious. And I'm actually glad they put that in the description. It's funny. Honestly, it would have been better if they mentioned Cyclone in that description as well. It would have made him so much better. Just in the description alone. But yeah, what I want for next update, Bakugan wise, Mantris, Base Hydra, it can be one of these. I'll be perfectly fine with one of these. One of these that are being listed. Radaloid Centipoid. Maybe add the 6 Ancient Soldiers as a world event. That's gonna be a bitch to code, but it'd be really cool. Hold on. That's another thing I wanted to talk about in the stream, and it might be the last thing I'm gonna talk about because I might have to end the stream in I want to say 30 minutes or so, because at that point my shit's gonna start overheating. But when it comes to the ultimate Bakugan or the 6 Ancient Soldiers, stuff along those lines, don't have them buyable in the shop. Make it much more grindier. Have it so like if they add a day night cycle, at night a portal to the Doom Dimension opens. Anybody can enter this. It's not just one person would be able to enter this, and it would be completely random for each person. Like for one person, or hold on, before I get to that, a portal opens to the Doom Dimension. Oh yes, a world event. A world event, basically. A portal to the Doom Dimension opens. There will be a symbol of an attribute. So when you go in there, you could get like a Darkest Apollinaire or something like that. But you have to battle an NPC and win. And they won't be easy. You have to win. If you win, you get the Bakugan. You won't get the cards for them. And then if you want the cards, you can wait until another portal opens. You might have to do this multiple times, by the way. If they do this, I hope they do this. I would fucking grind the shit out of this game. I wouldn't care if it was bugged to hell. I would grind the hell out of this. But for to get the cards along with them, this goes for the character cards, this goes for the abilities. If you wanted those as well, after you get the Bakugan, you have to wait until another portal opens, walk through the portal. It could be any attribute, by the way. Any attribute. You have to hope the NPC that you battle has the same Bakugan that you want the cards for. You have to win against them again. And then you could get a character card or you can get the abilities. In fact, you could maybe get multiple of them. It would be much more grindier. It'd be more of an RNG situation, kind of like how the wheel is. Because you can get duplicates from the wheel. I've gotten 2 Dark Eye Superiors from the wheel. And honestly, I think people would like it. I think that would be really cool to add in a world event for that. And that would be to get Bakugan like Waver, Naga, the 6 Ancient Soldiers. Heck, if they add the season... no, hold on. Not season 2. Let's say like recolorations, like Pearl versions of the Bakugan. Like if you guys played the TCG IRL, or if you had what's it called? If you actually collect the figurines, you could get Pearl versions of Bakugan. You could battle NPCs for those as well, but it unlocks a skin for it, so you could like apply a skin if you win. That would be that would be during the day though. I think that would be better if it was during the day concept. Maybe you can get more than one ability depending on how much your Bakugan. Maybe, because you don't want to be able to get all the cards at once, because this game is grindy, and I like it. I like having to grind to get the shit I need. But at the same time, when it comes to getting all the cards for one Bakugan, would not be a good idea right off the bat. Because that means people would literally just have to battle an NPC twice to get them. And then after that, it's literally just a matter of them farming to get the attribute of the version they want. It's literally all it is. But honestly, I fucking hope something like that gets put into the game. And something similar with evolutions, if they all get added, I don't want them to be able to be buyable from the shop. Like it's like you buying a partner Bakugan, and if this is also if they limit Guardians as well. If you buy a partner Bakugan, you should have to sit there leveling up, and if they add any PvE statics, like you actually having to spend time with your partner, you form like a bond. Like that's what I want out of a game like this. You have actually having to form a bond with the Bakugan you're choosing as your ace. Like for me with Leonidas, I'm not an RP person, but if you will sit with me in a VC while I'm playing this fucking game, and you listen to how I talk when I use Leonidas in a fight, it sounds like I'm being an RP person. That's what brings a game life. Because if people just play it as a mindset to win, I get it. Winning is fun. But if you lose, you learn from that. You learn from your mistakes, you get better, that's how it works. But if you're playing a game just to win, just to be at the top, that's what kills a game, and that's what kills your mindset to play a game. It will literally turn into Yu-Gi-Oh version 2. I think more reasons to battle NPCs. Yeah, you would get more out of it. It would be much more rewarding because right now you just get a shitty amount of HSP, and right now it's based off of turns. By the way, the longer a battle goes, the more HSP you get. There was a bug with Magma Fuse where if you just murdered every gate card on the field, you could just sit there with an auto clicker, continuously end turns, and for every I think 5,000 turns, you got 2,500. It was very busted. But honestly, it would be it would be really good for this game if you weren't, or you actually had to play with a certain partner Bakugan. Like, you could have multiple, just have them in different decks, level each one up, form a bond with them, you evolve them, you play with them more, you keep evolving them, and then they get to their final evolution, and then there you go. Then you can go into the next. But you're still technically forming a bond with them. That's just my mindset on it. Like, before evolution takes place, I will continue to use Leo. In fact, when base Hydronoid gets added to the game, well, okay, so Bakugan like him, I kind of understand why they don't get an evolution. They're kind of third-party characters, but honestly, they should have gave them more love. They honestly should have gave them even in season 2. They should have gave them evolutions. XP right now is fucked. Honestly, the best NPC to fight for XP is Shun, because he can actually give you a random amount of XP right now. He is very, very bugged. Like, I've heard people saying that you could battle him multiple times and on a couple different occasions. You could get 2 levels on one Bakugan. Or just 5 levels, but they spread apart on all of your Bakugan, basically. So, like, one would get 1, one would maybe get 1, one would get 3, and it's just random at that point. Ah, shit. Alright. I might do a part 2 to this tomorrow. Because I did do this really late. I kind of want to do an all-day thing. When everybody on the server is active, everybody's in here. That way, it's more people's opinions and maybe more bugs that need to be reported and them not paying attention to tickets, which does happen. I don't blame them. There's a lot of shit that happens. But I want to do something. I'm probably going to do it tomorrow, not going to lie. I might do an all day thing tomorrow where I just have everybody in here. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about right now. I want to do a stream tomorrow. It depends on when I wake up and how I feel when I'm waking up. But I do want to do an all day thing where this is talked about again, like not like the random shit. Well, okay, you know what? We're gonna add an extra thing to this. Ideas. Uh, Bakugan containing world events. Um, I I want to get as many people in here when everybody is active. Like even Gilly, I'm glad Gilly joined in here because again, he agreed with me on the point where he was actually having a lot of fun using one ace, and it was a really good battle. I don't mind losing, and in fact, me and him are probably gonna run it back whenever me and him are drunk or high, one of the two. I'm probably gonna be the one that's high, but I do want to do this again, and I don't want to like when I start making videos about this or about the game, I should say, or if I start making videos about issues in the future, I want to do it the right way. I don't want to be like Klepto and do it as a rant fest. If he would play the game more, it wouldn't or he would see what's wrong with what he said. Nothing against him. Nothing. He's a decent guy. I like playing with him. I like talking to him. And whenever I want to battle you again at some point, whenever, okay, so I'm still gonna be playing the game, I'm just not going to be playing it as much until the update comes or when the game gets fixed. And thank you, Mark. I appreciate it. I try to be as light as I can. Like okay, I get it. I am very toxic when it comes to fighting people, but that's me trying to be funny. That is not meant to piss people off. If people get pissed off, honestly, it's funnier to me. It is really funny to me because people will get pissed off. It's a game. Relax. If you're losing or winning, don't get pissed. I don't know if either of you were on, but there's a kid named Thanatos in the on the game. But we did a 2v2 and he got pissed off because we were both okay. Me and him were both teamed up with a newbie. We were fighting against each other. Both of them screwed up during the fight, and I made a little bit of a joke about it, saying that wasn't a smart idea because it really wasn't. And at the end of the battle, we ended up winning. No surprise there. And that's not me trying to boast, by the way. That is not me trying to boast. But he got really pissed off and went on a full rant fest, saying, "Oh, I have no social skills. Oh, go touch grass," and a bunch of other shit. Like, he was really pissed off. One, he's telling the person who has autism that they have no social skills. By the way, I do have a form. I do. Okay, I am a little. I am a little autistic. It's me being blunt, basically. Or fuck, basically, I. It's hard for me to understand people's body language or the body language and shit like that. It's hard to tell when people are actually pissed or if they're actually being sarcastic. So most of the time, I'll rub it off as a joke. And I don't say this to get pity. I don't care if people have pity on me. I don't want pity from people. I'm just trying to be me. That's all it is. But when it comes to the whole enthusiasm thing, I try to rub that off on other people. I try to, when it comes to shit like these or issues, I try to get people to understand the main points of view that they should be viewing. Like, for instance, the multiple guardian issue. There's new people that join the game every day. The only way they can efficiently farm points right now is if they join tourneys. They can't do that. They don't have a chance of winning if everybody's running stupid shit. That needs to be limited. That's why when I fight newbies, I will go easy on them. I could stop an entire chain and mess with them if I wanted to. But I don't. I take it easy on people. Like Matthew, when you joined the game, I was giving you the best chance you had. I will do the same thing, even for people who are not new to the game. If they've been playing it for a while, for instance, Psycho Femboy, I have went easy on him a few times to give him the best chance of winning. It's not my fault if they mess up, and I won't be toxic about it. I will say GG, and I will try to help them out with their deck as much as I can. That is why I have said a few times that if anybody had questions about deck building, and I will say this, nobody listened to Silver with this. I don't care if he's in here and hears us. Do not listen to Silver. Because he's going at it the wrong way. You're doing a fantastic job at this. To be honest, as much as I like Klepto, your attitude is about things such as breath of fresh air. Thanks. It's not me being... I'm very shit at talking. It's just the fact that I will talk about things and have facts about them. I will bring realness into it. I will be blunt about it. That's the word I can use for it. I will be blunt about it. I don't care if people get pissed off. What are your okay, so it depends on the attribute, and I have helped a few people, and again, this goes back to if people have questions about it. I don't mind people DMing me. Like, okay, I'm not trying to say that I'm going to be a big content creator in the future. I'm wanting to be, and I hope I get to a certain point like that. But even when I get to that point, I will not mind people DMing me questions. A lot of content creators, like even huge ones, like if Jacksepticeye or something like that played this game, I guarantee you they would not answer DMs because there's so many. I won't care. If it takes me a fucking month, I will sit there and answer every single one of them. There are some that might be a little stupid and common sense that I won't answer to, or I will send a short GIF or meme saying this is kind of common sense. But if it's stuff like actual questions that are actually really good, or even shitty questions that actually have a point to them, or people wanting suggestions, I will sit there and answer them. In fact, the last time I said that I would help with deck building, I flat out said, uh, fuck, what was I saying? I flat out said to people, I don't care if they DM me about it, and I've had a few DMs, and I sat there and answered them, and it was like 3 o'clock in the morning. I don't care. Occasionally I can't sleep, and I'm honestly glad that I got the DM to help. If you don't mind, when I get the game, I'd love if you'd like coach me and help me around the ropes. I can, yeah, but when it comes to the attribute, I can help with your deck building a little bit, but when it comes to coaching on how to play the attribute, I'm not going to be able to help you there. I can help you with the mechanics of the game and how the game works, how, like, for instance, gate jumping works, all that crap. I don't mind helping with that, but when it comes to your playstyle on your attribute, that's up to you to figure out. Some people like to play defensively, some people like to be balanced, some people like to be overly aggressive, like I am. Except the way I play, I just think before I fucking run into a minefield. Most of the time. Sometimes I'll be stupid and run in and throw Leo on a fucking trade-off without Grand down or something. I've done that twice now, and it's hilarious. Like, I'll even laugh about it. I was like, oh shit, nope, okay. But no, when it comes to stuff like that, I don't mind helping. I really don't. It's a community. We need to be able to help each other. Alright. I am going to have to cut this short here. I am very grateful for everybody that joined in, even the people that left, because this is definitely going to, or even my failed attempts at the stream are going to be on my YouTube. I'm not going to fucking delete them because I just don't have the time. If I sit down tomorrow if I actually do a stream tomorrow, I most likely am. I will probably sit there and actually delete them or edit them all down or cut out I don't know. We'll see. But for this one, I am going to have to cut for right now because it's 1 in the morning. I am fucking tired, and if I'm going to do this shit in the morning, I will have to wake up early. But for right now, I'm grateful for everybody that joined in, even the people who aren't already, or that aren't still in here. I'm going to keep this tab, or I'm going to keep my laptop on and have the note tab pulled up. Let me actually make sure that's saved. It should have saved. Okay, it did. I'm gonna have that set up for tomorrow because I am gonna have to do a lot of typing tomorrow if people actually join. But for right now, glad you all hopped in. Very grateful for talking all to you guys. Hope you all have a good rest of your morning / day / Happy New Year's, whatever. I will see you all on the next one, which will most likely be tomorrow. So y'all have a good night.